Scanning for audio.
Hello, and welcome to another Tin Dog podcast. This time talking about Torchwood, the second of the Ood trilogy. Are we calling it that? I think we are. Torchwood Oodunnit. Yep, I know. Basically, that sounds like a title that you came up with and went, I'm going to put that down as a work in progress title. I'll probably come up with something better later on. And then later on, you go, actually, I'm quite attached to that title. I'm just going to keep it. As you can hear, my voice is, of course, marvellous. Because I've been quite ill with a cough. Not very exciting, but it is a cough. So, written by James Goss, the safe pair of hands, and starring Sean Parks. And, of course, we've also got Mr. Carson being the voice of the Ood. And we've also got a lovely return of the Sim. But more of that in a minute. Here's the trailer. Not trailer, what am I saying? Here's the synopsis, and then we can have a chat in a non-spoilery way. Business as usual, yeah? Who would murder an Ood? In the 43rd century, all the Earth's empire's waste goes to the recycling world of Paraglas IV. But has something else been sent there, something worth killing for? The Torchwood Archive sends Zachary Cross Flane to investigate, and he uncovers a terrible secret. The Empire has a use for everyone, even after death. You know what? I'm enjoying this Ood set considerably more than I thought I was going to. I've got very used to Torchwood being, how can I put this, kind of Earth-based. And it's nice to mix things up. I do need to say that my favourite Torchwoods of late were the 1970s ones, but to be fair, as a monthly range, absolutely loving them in general. Although I do need more Louise Jameson as the neurodivergent 70s Torchwood. But that's another thing. What we've got here is some more futuristic stuff. I'd forgot about the existence of Zachary. I'd forgotten about his friend who is a synthetic person. And it's really nice because you've got a whole robots of death thing going on, but more in a Torchwoody kind of a way. And now you've got the aliens in the sense of the servants who are the Ood competing. And now, one of the things about Doctor Who is that you've got a whole to educate thing going on. And there's a really nice moment where the Irish railway builders of the 1800s are compared to the Chinese railway builders of the 1800s and what happened in unionization and things like that. And it's fascinating. And I did learn something, or was reminded of things that had been mentioned to me in the past. And they made me go, yeah, actually, that's very right and very accurate. The problem with synthetic people and with the Ood is that they're all better than us. Us humans are terrible, terrible creatures. Yeah, anyway, our motivations are almost always self-centered. The guy playing the union leader in this does sound, if ever you needed to recast, like Garth Marenghi. Definitely sounds like him. You could get him to play the part very easily. It's fun. However, when I unpacked, because my phone is currently very full, when I unzipped the folder with the audio in, my phone went, I can't do track 11, and I skipped it, thinking I'll come back to it. And then I told it to unpack the folder again after I'd deleted some old crap. But it didn't do it properly because it's so full of crap. So when I listened to it, it finished at the end of track 10 and then went straight into the credits. And I thought, hang on, I don't know who did it. I don't know what their motivation was. I don't know what's going on. We're in a cliffhanger. Is it a two-parter? I know there's another Ood story. I had a bit of a meltdown. You understand this. Went back, saw that it goes track 10, track 12, and so on. So I then unpacked the whole thing again and got to listen to track 11. And I've actually listened to track 11, which is the denouement. There's a phrase you don't hear very often. A few times. And it makes sense. It's really well constructed, and as a mystery, yes, it just works. It might not be the greatest of all Torchwoods ever told, but it does add a nice bit of futuristic propaganda, and not propaganda, storytelling. And you get to see what it's like to experience the Ood as dangerous killing machines and experiencing what fully functional Ood are like in a nice environment. I'm genuinely looking forward to the next part, because I don't know, in my head I had an Ood visiting Earth now, but that's not quite what the next one's about at all, because I've just read the synopsis while I was creating my little thumbnails. I know this review will possibly get lost because everyone's all full of the exciting world of Doctor Who being on TV within minutes, of colorised Dalek stories, of missing episodes of Unearthly Child and all that kind of nonsense. But it'll be a real shame if you miss out on what is, as far as I'm concerned, the greatest version of the Doctor Who universe that's currently out, which is the audio versions. And Torchwood is just cracking. I'm loving it. Every time I come up with a story in my head, it's a Torchwood one now. Perhaps I've just become disenchanted with Doctor Who. Perhaps that'll change in the next few weeks or months or years. But at the moment, I'm just loving Torchwood, and I'm loving the audio versions. So, here's the trailer. As always, decide for yourself, don't just take my word for it. And until next time, be seeing you.
Now, want to see what the human empire's really about?
From Big Finish Productions, Torchwood, Oodunnit.
I'm Zachary Cross Flane of the Torchwood Archive.
We are pleased to meet you. How can we help?
Well, actually, I'm here to help you.
Indeed.
An Ood was murdered, which is why I'm here to find out what happened.
Every Ood carries a weapon in its hands and could start killing at any moment. Intriguing.
Can an Ood kill?
That's not what I asked.
No. But you are interested in the answer. We are here, waiting for you. In the dark.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Everything discussed is the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. For early access to reviews, follow the show on YouTube or Twitter @TinDogPodcast. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.